What up, though, fam? We're back for another great edition of Enters the Lab podcast. We're going to preview week 3, review week 2 of the NFL action, and talk about some of the great action coming up in college football this week. We got a great game tonight between the Buffalo Bills and Miami. And guess what, man? I need Tyreek to get off the pine and get into the end zone. I don't care who wins, but Tyreek, we need you tonight, man. I'm believing in you tonight, man. Do it for the old school fellas. Hey, great show. Tune in. Tell a friend. Enters the Lab. Coming to
All right. Welcome to Thursday. What up, though? What up,
We made it. So close to the weekend. I hope everybody had a good week. Great football tonight, kicking off the weekend. And before we go any further, I must do my due diligence and give a shout out to my better half. We are celebrating 10 years of wonderful marriage, September 19th. So, you know what I'm saying, my queen, Nicole, man, we've been spending some great time together these last couple of days, man. It's been a wonderful journey. I just wanted to get that off my chest, man. My better half, who allows me these Thursday nights to come to you every week and speak whatever garbage I'm talking to you guys about on this football thing, man. So salute to her. And let's get into it, people.
Yay! Shout out to Nicole for putting up with you.
You know it's a tough job. Somebody got to do it. You know it's a tough job.
It's a tough job. I understand. But it is Thursday. We are getting some Thursday night football going on today between those Eagles and those Dolphins. So we're going to see how that is going to look. Also, we're going to jump right on college. Last week, college football was a little doozy, especially for my Bulldogs. Jay Mick already know about. We're not going to dive into that a little bit too much. We are going to take this bye week to buy our business.
Sure.
So yes, but it ranked in some nice viewership with that game going to overtime. Georgia got over the last 8 years, so we made it 9 years. So we're gonna go for a little bit of 10 here, pretty soon. Other games went kind of the way we,
I said 10 years. That's
what did you say?
Number. That's a great number. That 10 years.
that 10 years is great. But no, what were y'all surprises from this past week's college football before we kind of get into our game pick? Jay Mick, what were you thinking?
I was surprised that DJ Lagler threw 5 interceptions. I mean, I've been watching football my whole life, NFL and college. It's not a lot of times I can say someone threw 5 picks in the game, and not one of them joints was tipped or nothing. Like he just threw them things. So I mean that's what surprised me. And also on the other side of that, to turn over the ball 5 times, and for LSU to only win by 10 points. Like I kind of thought that their offense wasn't really that great that game. So and I just think like for the rest of their schedule, they're gonna have some hard games, and that offense is gonna have to show up at some point. So
we'll see. See him. What about you?
Nothing too much surprised me except for that outcome in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? I'm a diehard. Maybe I was, you know what I'm saying? I drank too much of the Kool-Aid and it was a little too sweet. But shout out to the Sooners, man. John Mateer, he looked pretty good. And I wasn't really expecting you know what I'm saying, what happened with them. But with that being said, we did get to bounce back. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we'll be able to, show up this week. But I want to piggyback off of what Jay Mick said, because I do have a question. I'm glad he brought up the Florida situation, because now we see another talented young quarterback with a tremendous amount of physical skills, all this, hoopla about what he could be, not really developing so far. at Florida. So is this issue like we are seeing possibly with AR and maybe with Lagway early? It's still very it's still very early on for him. So I don't want to write the narrative too early. But I want to just ask this question: what do we think about the player development that's going on in Florida?
It's the same player development that's going on in Tennessee. It ain't nothing. To be real, the same thing happened with AR, glorified running back. With that, he should have stayed a year. I don't see Lagway coming out. Probably I really would say he needs to stay all 4 years to really kind of get the handle of what it means to be a quarterback. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It is a coaching problem, but I'm going to put it more so on Billy. It's a Billy problem. From the time Billy has been there, I don't see any development with his quarterbacks. He produces great wide receivers. We got some good defensive offensive players on that Florida squad, but I'm going to be straight honest. It's a Billy Napier problem. Just like I believe John Harbaugh is the problem for their quarterback situation, because ain't no way Tennessee could have told me that Nico would be looking with the way he's looking at UCLA and plus got his coach fired. So that's all I'm going to say on that one.
Well, I will say this. I would defend Tennessee a little bit because the results, and you guys are SEC folks, so you guys correct me if I'm wrong. But the results from Tennessee the last couple of years seem to be a little bit more positive. I mean, yeah, they're not winning the big games, but you're seeing just enough how do you say success to keep their fan base kind of, somewhat happy. Florida, we're not quite seeing that. What do you guys think about that or say to that?
Well, I think the DJ Lagway thing is kind of to me it's like nuanced, because DJ Lagway, like, he didn't do a lot of practice in the springtime, and so I think that got a lot to do with his struggles. I mean, he's just a sophomore, so he hasn't really played a lot. And so I just think he's trying to work his way through it. But the problem is when you don't practice in the spring and in the summertime, and now you in the season, there's not a lot of time for, like, I mean, they practice all week long, but it's not like you haven't gotten those reps that you should have got earlier this year. So I just think he's struggling. I think he's going to continue to struggle for the rest of the year. And you might, he might have to take a whole off season, kind of work on that, and just, come back to it. And my, I'm I put on Lagway. But I mean, yeah, like Florida, like you said, like Florida, Tennessee, like they got issues developing. Like I just think certain positions they develop really well, and I mean, there's others like quarterback, not really so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I mean, like I said, Tennessee, yes, has had success. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
No, I was just gonna say Tennessee's, they have had some success, but I will definitely say, like, one of their better quarterbacks, in my honest opinion, was Hendon Hooker. I feel like that was like one of the better ones to come out of Tennessee, kind of over the course, besides some of the others. And like Joey, I'm gonna tip my hat off to Joey. They looked it good. They looked it good until that second half, but they looked it good that first half against Georgia and playing against a Kirby Smart's defense. So I will tip my hat to him. But again, it just really shows me that yes, there is development problems with certain teams in the SEC, and we're starting to see that with two teams and one. Let me not even say two teams, so I don't even want to put Tennessee up there really, but I'm going to say we're really seeing that with Florida.
Okay. So what was your surprise from this past week, Lady E?
Vandy beating South Carolina. Shout out to Vanderbilt. They're 3-0.
They built a little team down there.
Yeah, they built a little squad down there. They really are. Even the shocker with Georgia Tech going 3-0. With that, can't stand them. But again, they're 3-0. But definitely for sure, Vandy has shown me a lot. They're not the perfect squad. I'm definitely going to say that they do have their offensive flaws, defensive flaws. They're not the perfect team, but for them to go into Columbia and legitimately, do what they did and kind of go in there and beat South Carolina, Yeah, it's kind of hard when that situation kind of happens with that. But that was my shocker with that. So shout out to Vandy on that one.
Let me ask you this regarding that game. Now, did the South Carolina? Because I didn't watch it. Did the South Carolina quarterback get hurt, and is he going to play this week? So I think they have another big game this week.
I haven't heard anything. J. Mick, have you heard anything about Stellars?
Yeah. I think he got concussed in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't heard anything this week as far as like him going to play or not. But college is a little different than NFL. Like they don't really have to report the injuries like 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 coaches and teams in NFL do. So you're gonna have to just wait till you get closer to the game to kind of figure that out. So
yeah, they got a big game with Missouri this week, so I definitely want to know his availability because that may definitely sway my decision on that parlay slip this week.
I mean, but then again, like South Carolina really been shaky every game. It's not like the first game against Virginia Tech, they was real shaky in that game. And in my opinion, Tech not really a great team. And then you got the Vanderbilt game, like they were shaky because their quarterback went out. But Vanderbilt's a good team. Like like the thing about Vanderbilt, like they get this name because they're not perennially good. But the problem is they was good last year and they're good this year, so they're a good team now. So
yeah, SEC man, little change of the guard going on, little change of the guard.
Hey, we beat up on each other. We were beating up on each other before. Now we really beating up on each other now. So it's crazy down here in the South. So let's move to the game of the week. Now there's other honorable mentions: Miami versus Florida, and then like you just mentioned, Missouri versus South Carolina. But the top game is going to be Auburn versus Oklahoma. So Oklahoma actually, and I was just reading some stats because I was actually looking at the SEC stats, just kind of looking at Georgia and kind of seeing where we are, kind of preparing for Alabama, J. Mick. I got to see where Alabama is with a rushing defense. Like, we going to run this ball or not? What we going to do? So Oklahoma's defense is actually ranked number 1 in the SEC for passing, and I think they're like around 3. And correct me if I'm wrong, around 3 with their rushing defense. So Oklahoma actually is like I said before at the beginning of the season, they are a sleeper team. Remind me if this game is at home for the Sooners or are they playing at Auburn?
I believe this game is at Oklahoma.
Okay, so yes, they are. Yep. So Auburn is walking into Norman, and I'm not going to lie to you, Norman's not an easy place to play. And this game is woo. Hopefully Mateer can go out there and do what he needs to do. I don't trust Hugh Freeze, so I don't trust the Hugh Freeze. But this is Jackson Arnold's first game back to Oklahoma after leaving and transferring out. So he is not going to get a very good, warm welcome with the Sooner Nation. So again, this is going to be a good game. I do believe it's going to believe who has the ball last, to be honest with you, and who has great clock management.
You just brought up a nice little tidbit because of all this new NIL and this transfer portal, everybody is from here now. I never know how long someone has been out of school. So the young man from Auburn, you said he's from Oklahoma. How long ago did he transfer?
Last year.
Yeah, I mean he was just last year. Yeah,
so he was just there last year. So he was besides their defense, he was the reason why they beat Alabama and beat Joe Milroe.
He's a good player. And he has an intimate knowledge of the offense.
Very.
That's a key point. I'm just asking of something. 7-point spread. Every little bit of information can be helpful. But I think that's a key point. You know what I'm saying, going into this game because again, he does have intimate knowledge of this offense, and you say as recently as last year. So. I think he can definitely give their defense some pointers on how to defend.
Matter of fact, it probably will even be this year. Did he play in their bowl game, J. Mick, if you remember? Or was he already gone before their bowl game?
I think he might have. Don't quote me on this, but I think he was gone before the bowl game.
The bowl game, okay. So I was going to say probably as soon as this year that he actually left and went over there to great Auburn. But yeah, this is they circled this game.
Yeah.
They circled this game. But go ahead, J-Mick.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is the only way Auburn can win this game is Jackson Arnold going to have to throw the ball. Like, I mean Jackson can can run it with the best of them in the country. But the way the Sooners defense is set up, and they know Jackson. Jackson played there, so and the coach runs the defense, the head coach. So he knows that that Jackson Arnold has deficiencies in throwing the football. And I mean, I just think that's what's going to come down to. I mean, as soon as he was saying they got a really good defense. Like right now, they got the number one defense in the conference. I mean, whether you're looking at points per game, whether you're looking at passing yards allowed per game or rushing yards allowed, like they're number one in all them stats.
Yep.
So they're going to make him throw the ball, and I don't have the confidence that he can really do that against that kind of defense. And so, yeah, I'm not really with the whole. And I'm a Georgia fan. So I don't like Auburn to begin with, but I'm putting on my non-bias hat, and I just don't like this like them at all. Like I think that this game could get away from them pretty quickly if they can't throw the football.
Yeah. And again, I'm not trusting Hugh Freeze. Jackson Arnold, I think one of his stats that I recently remember looking at, that he only threw for like 100 and some odd yards and then rushed for 100 and some odd yards. I don't think that will work. And the way Venables is probably in his defensive coordinator ear, they know him. They know his strengths. They know his weaknesses. They practice with him. So I think they're going to gun for that to try to make this a win. Now, it's just basically how can Auburn respond? Auburn is kind of up there too in certain stats within the SEC as well. So they're kind of like around that top 10, top 15, depending on what you're looking at. So they're not a bad school. At all when it comes down to it. So I'm just this game is going to come down to the wire, and I believe it's probably going to come down who has the ball last.
I'm gonna tell you, I haven't seen much of Auburn. Hugh Freeze gets another shot to rebuild another program, and he, I guess, has them kind of on the the precipice, if you will, of getting them back on that national stage. But I'm looking at Ball State. I'm looking at South Alabama. I'm looking at Baylor, their previous 3 wins. My eye test tells me that John Mateer could possibly be the best player on the field for both teams. To both you guys' points, ladies and gents, points. The defense was definitely physical. They were fast. They definitely flew to the football. They put pressure up front on the quarterback. They were definitely tough in the trenches. We only had, basically one big running play against them a couple of weeks ago. I will say this: there were some opportunities to be made in the passing game. Bryce did not have his sharpest game, throwing the football. So I think that if Auburn can protect the quarterback, if they can possibly stay in reasonable down and distance situations and come up with some big plays in the passing game, possibly off play action, they can keep it close. But I think Oklahoma having that experience of that big game at home in prime time over us, now a couple weeks later playing at home again on a big stage, is going to be probably give them a little bit of an advantage of the moment. They have a little bit more experience in the moment, maybe a little bit more talent overall. So I'm gonna give them an edge in this game.
Okay, Jay Mick, who do you got in this game?
Man, I'm going Boomer Sooner, man. I mean, I don't wish nothing good for Auburn. I mean, ever in life.
I ain't ever heard you wish nothing good for nobody else besides the Patriots and Georgia.
I mean, Auburn's our rival. Like, they're our rival. Florida's our rival. That's just, that's what it is. I mean, those are rivals. So I don't wish anything good for them schools. I'm sorry, but I mean, like, to put on the non-bias hat though, like, I just don't think Auburn has enough to go in to, to go on the road to Oklahoma and Norman and win. That's a very hard place to play. And then you couple that with it being a night game too. Nah, I'm all set with that. Like, I'm definitely going. I mean, like Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, I'm telling you, in the next few weeks, because the Texas State Fair will be starting at the end of this month. They have 1 week, and then that following week they got Texas. So we will be back to talk about that game, because that's a 3:30 game for Oklahoma versus Texas in that Red River rivalry at that good old Texas State Fair. I need to go ahead and get my fried food on. Can't wait. Scrumptious. Treats. Exactly. Okay. Y'all have to try. Like, 1 year they had actually fried bacon and they actually fried the ice cream. So y'all do. But they do have like a fried pho little burrito with that. So hopefully they still have that because I really want that
Okay.
again.
I'm about to
But
say,
yes,
I got fried ice cream years ago at Chi Chi's. Don't let them steal that from Chi Chi's now. Talking about they brought something brand new to
look, they even fried like some beer. Trust me, they
it.
fry anything at that Texas State Fair for real, for real. So, last but not least, when it comes down to college football, going into it again, we got some great games coming up this week. I'm just gonna kind of pivot here because I know with J Mick and us with Georgia, we got Alabama coming. I'm just gonna put it out here. We're not talking about that game. We're just gonna bless it on the cross and we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna do that because I already know ours is gonna be the prime time matchup between that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get that out the way now. We're not talking about that game next week. All right, so we are gonna find another game to talk about. But no, let's go ahead and move and switch gears on over. Oh yeah, my pick is automatically Boomer Sooner. I'm sorry, I gotta go with the Sooners. Love them, respect them. But let's go ahead and talk about the NFL. Week 2 of the NFL, we saw some bounce back. We saw bounce back from the Lions, from my Falcons, Jay Mick and them over there with the Patriots. We got things going on. We rocking and rolling. Okay,
We're on the board.
Yeah,
on the board now, okay? But let's get into some news right now and let's kind of talk a little bit before we get into our picks. So now we're going to start with the focus of that AFC South. Let's start with there. Pretty much we saw what Danny Dimes did on the Colts, kind of shook a lot of people. I really don't think AR is getting that spot back unless Danny Dimes just messes up completely. Yeah, it's over. And then what's going on with the Texans? So let's kind of start with that AFC South right now, and let's start with the Colts. Are the Colts for real? Jay Mick, what are you thinking about that win that the Colts just had with Danny Dimes at the helm?
I mean, I think you got to look at them as they for real. I mean, I know we're only 2 weeks in, and it's hard to jump on bandwagons after 2 weeks because I mean, just for instance, the Saints were 2-0 last year too around this time, and bandwagon. I mean, like the wheels fell off, the chair fell off on the back, and everything. So I mean, it's tough to do that. But what I've seen in both Colts games, I've seen both of those games. I'm encouraged on both sides of the ball. I mean, defensively they're really good. So I mean, I wasn't sure we're going to see them about their secondary, but their secondary has been pretty good. The front four has been good, and I mean, offensively, like Jonathan Taylor. Like to me, he's one of the top 5 backs in the league. And then you got Danny Dimes. I mean, he's playing well. I mean, that's all I can say. And I just think, the offensive rounder with a good offensive line, good weapons on the outside, good running back. I mean, he doesn't have to save them. He just has to got to manage, the offense. And I feel as if he can do that. And so, I mean, for them to be 2-0, and I think the only other team in the division that won a game is the Jaguars. So, I mean, I gotta say, as of right now, the Colts look for real to me.
What do you think?
I'm feeling real vindicated and validated right now because I remember when we did our review of this division, I told y'all, I said, man, I'm confused about everybody in here. I'm confused. I think Indy can be a surprise if they get some quarterback play. They got a defense. They got a great stable of receivers. I shouldn't say great. A nice stable of receivers. They got a running game, solid defense. I told y'all about Houston. I said, I don't know. Y'all said, how they a contender? How they a pretender? They win a division. They go to the playoffs every year. The last 2 years. That's what y'all told me. Y'all told me that. I said, man, I don't know. The best tackle just packed his bags and went to Washington. Y'all told me they had O-line problems, but the best guy went to Washington. Y'all told me they traded the offensive guard to Philly or somebody. So to me, and then, I don't know if it's because of personnel or not, or injuries, there has been somewhat of a regression from CJ Stroud. You know what I'm saying? It could be due to all these factors, but something about Houston right now is not right. And they don't have Mixon. We got to throw that into the mix. But Houston, to me, it just doesn't look good. They can't get Nico Collins the ball. They can't block long enough to have, long developing plays to get him the ball. So they look kind of like in a mess. And Daniel Jones, I mean, I don't know if he went to the Geno Smith, Rich Gannon school of second half quarter, the Baker Mayfield resurrect your career quarterback school, but he definitely seems rejuvenated back there. And again, he has all those weapons. We got to give a shout out to Shane Steichen, who seems to be able to manage him in a way that keeps them in a positive, I should say, positive rhythm, if you will. And kudos to them. They look like a tough team, man. I mean, a lot of people had, Denver as one of the, top teams out of the AFC, and they popped them. So it's looking efficient.
Yeah, I agree. I agree across the board. You know how they always say sometimes a new change of scenery can always help, especially in the quarterback position. Maybe him getting out of New York and going to a whole new team kind of revived him a little bit, and brought that back. I mean, the Colts weren't slated to really do anything. A lot of their fans, they believe they can do something, but I think that belief was with them doing, having AR at the helm. I don't think they would have thought Daniel Jones would have came in and has been doing what they're doing. He got the wheels churning again. I do believe that they're a competent team. They got the balance that is needed, got a good run game, got good wide receivers that are competent wide receivers. We're not trying to say they're the elitist of the elitists, but they got a good defensive line. Corners are doing what they're supposed to do. It's just a good, competent team all around. Now, if we're talking playoffs, not sure about that as of yet.
It's fine. It's early.
Yeah, it's too early. And plus it depends on the other AFC team and how they kind of go. So we'll check back with them probably like in week 6 to see if we're having this same conversation. Texans.
I will say this before we move on. I will say this. I think that sometimes we can't discount, even that the experience has been a bad experience for some of these quarterbacks. We can't discount the experience that they've gotten or they've achieved through the years. I know that Daniel's. I'm sorry, not Daniel's. What's my name? Who we talking about? Daniel Jones. He played for I don't know 2 or 3 coordinators in New York. Then he went out to he was the backup in Minnesota last year, right?
Yeah.
And then now he's heard 4 or 5 different voices. He's heard 4 or 5 different philosophies. He's seen 4 or 5 different approaches. He's pretty much. I don't want to say he's seen everything that you can see, but he's seen a lot, and I think that helped him kind of decipher. Okay, I can take a little bit of good from this. I can take a little bit of good from this experience. I can take a little bit of good from this experience. Now I'm learning in this current experience, and now I'm able to put things together. Versus somebody like AR, who he's seeing a second year, but he's seeing a second year hearing the same voice, hearing the same, the same philosophy. Maybe running into the same problems. He hasn't figured out how to, he hasn't figured out how to run this offense or be the man for this offense yet. So, and I think we look at someone like Sam Darnold, who's starting to have some success after bouncing around a little bit. We can't discount the experience that these guys get, good or bad. That's all I wanted to say.
No, we're not going to discount it. But again, when we're looking at play, and looking at the play over the course of the years, it just didn't add up. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, some people can develop bad habits and take those bad habits over to a new team, and then we're not seeing anything. So it's just you have to wait to see what coaches can break, what things that they have learned, and what things have they gotten better at. That we just have to kind of just wait and see. And right now, we're getting a good, Daniel Jones, but we're going to see if he's going to be this year's Sam Darnold, With the Houston Texans, though, there is a major concern. I don't think CJ Stroud has basically taken a step back or has the regression. I think he's just missing Tank Dell at this point, and mixing in there. I think he's just mixing a full arsenal on there. Offensive line is not really in a sense, they're really not doing their job on there. And defense is just hasn't been really playing the defense that we know that they have. So again, we've seen teams like this before have their early season struggles and then it picks up. But with the way, the Texans ended last year and now they're starting this year, I don't know if that will pick up in time enough for them to be able to probably make it down the line. But again, we'll check back with them week 6 and see what's going on. All right. So now let's go ahead and move along. So we're going to move over to the AFC West. Since we're in the
Mhm.
AFC right now, we're going to move over to the AFC West. Should we be worried about the Chiefs? Let's have the conversation really quickly. Should we be worried about the Chiefs, J. Mick?
I think the only way I'll be worried about the Chiefs is if they travel to New York. Was it on Monday? I think it's Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and if they lose, they go 0-3 and they lose against the Giants, then I'd be concerned. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think they're gonna win that game. So I think the panic level for the Chiefs fans is probably gonna go down a notch for at least a week. Because I just don't see them losing to the Giants. I mean, like Worthy, I've heard he's been at practice this week, so there's a 50-50 chance of him playing. So if they get him back, I think that puts him in a better situation. But I mean, like the one question I do have for the Chiefs is like they have not been able to run the ball effectively whatsoever. Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher on the team, and I mean that's never a good sign when your quarterback is the leading rusher. I don't care if you got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson. They should not be leading the team in rushing. That's the first issue, and then the second issue is the defense. Defense is not really getting a lot of timely stops. I mean, they played better against the Eagles in week 2. But against the Chargers in week 1, the defense wasn't good. I mean, like they was giving up everything. So I think you got to see going forward, like how the defense plays. Because if you watch the Chiefs, I mean, like you notice that Spags has been sending a lot of blitzes. So that pretty much tells me that like he feels as if he can't get home with 4. And if you got to start sending a lot of blitzes, I mean, when you play those higher echelon quarterbacks, they're going to kill you when you, try to blitz them that much. So, but I think that should be fine.
Yeah, I'm not really worried and concerned, man, because they've been sitting at the top of the food chain so long. They've eaten well, they've gotten it, they swole up there. So, basically, and I don't mind seeing the end of a dynasty if this is what it's going to be, but I'm not really sticking my fork in them, say they're done either. They definitely have had a couple of injury situations.
Yeah.
Are they definitely in a more competitive division this year? Seemingly so early on. But I'm not worried about them. Again, we check back at the quarter pole or at 8 games and see where they are once they get everybody kind of back in the fold, once they get a Worthy back, once they get Rashee Rice back from suspension. But they've been the king of the AFC for 5, 6, 7 years now. So yeah, listen, if they fall, they fall. But I'm gonna be here watching with my popcorn. Either way, I'm not concerned.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's time to panic. I mean, our TV personalities, that's what we're going to call them, are saying to put a fork in them. People are already starting to panic with them. Some of the Chiefs fans are already starting to panic because they're not used to this, but some have to remind them, hey, we did this before and we won a Super Bowl. So again, I just think right now, slow start, there's been some changes. Again, you got the injuries, you got suspensions. Defense just is trying to gel and click together and do a lot of things. I think there's a lot of moving parts going on with the Chiefs right now. And at this point in time, I'm going to take what number 12 said when he was with the Packers. RELAX. Just relax. Y'all are okay. Yeah. Relax, y'all. Like it's fine. It's fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about. But I am with J Mick. If they do lose to the Giants, we're gonna have some question marks. We are definitely going. I don't see it happening, but it's going to be some question marks that are going to basically happen if that happens. So hopefully Andy Reid can get everybody back to where he needs them to be and continue on, because I don't think the dynasty is done just yet. We've seen this with the Patriots before, and they showed us that they weren't done yet. So, all right. So let's come over to the NFC, and let's start with the NFC East. The Cowboys game, I was pissed about that because I wanted to see that Eagles and Chiefs game, but to go into overtime with the Giants, with that, let alone. I still don't understand what Russell Wilson was thinking about doing that, but we're not going to talk about that. What do y'all think about the Cowboys after seeing that, them going literally toe-to-toe with the Giants? And, normally they don't do that, but what are we seeing right now from the Cowboys? J Mick.
I mean, I'm seeing what I thought I was going to see. I didn't think their defense was going to be that great going into the season, and that's kind of what you're seeing. I mean, I guess in the first game against the Eagles, they played well. I mean, defensively, but I mean, Jalen Hurts wasn't really stretching the ball down the field either. So it's kind of hard to make those like the determinations. And to me, like the Cowboys, DC, I don't know if he didn't catch the memo, but playing zone against Russell Wilson is not exactly where you want to be. I mean, what you want to do is you want to play man. That's what you want to do. But I guess they didn't get the memo. And they got burnt. So like defensively, that's what I expect. And I mean, offensively, like it's what I expect. I mean, like I expect a lot of CeeDee Lamb and like a whole bunch of George Pickens. Now, what I wasn't expecting from the Cowboys is the run game. The run game is a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. So I mean, like the Cowboys just got to shore up some things on defense. Like if they could just shore up some things on defense, get some of their guys back that I guess like got hurt. Like I think that a couple guys that are hurt right now, if they get those guys back. And they can just kind of like, I mean, like have a defense that like bends but doesn't break, then I think they'll be fine.
Okay, see him?
Yeah, I think to J-Mick's point, offensively they look like they have definitely some weapons. They've kind of retooled on that offensive line, and you got the two great wide receivers. Javonte has definitely given them a boost in the running game, and I think if they had somebody who may be a little bit more dynamic, I know they drafted the young kid Jaden Blue this year, but if they had someone who's a little bit more dynamic in that backfield, it could possibly, take their offense to another level. But Javonte's been more than solid in the first two games, strong in pass protection, and again, a decent outlet receiver and definitely a guy who has a nose for the goal line. But again, no defensive real pressure. I think a lot of their games are going to be shootouts, but are they going to be able to, sustain this for the rest of the year? And how many games do they actually win? I don't really know. I mean, it was the Giants that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? They made the Giants kind of look like an offensive juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? Was it Wandale got loose? I've never seen one. Wandale was catching 8 passes for 27 yards last year. Now he caught 8 for 142. So it was a whole different offense. You know what I mean? So, again, I think this is what we're going to see from them. They're going to have to outscore teams the rest of the season. And how many games can they actually win? Time is going to tell.
Okay. So speaking of that, because the reason why I brought them up is because, we do have the Eagles. So my question is, we've seen what the Eagles have done in these first two games. And how big of a threat do you think that the Eagles are to that NFC East moving forward? Because we got the Cowboys struggling. Commanders are kind of not coming out the gate like we thought the Commanders was. And I think Jaden is dealing with a knee issue also with that. And then we just seen what the Giants can do. Like the Giants can literally go toe to toe with anybody, especially on the offense. So how can we consider the Eagles for real for the NFC East, or is it going to be some competition coming down the road with their division foes? J-Mick?
Oh, okay.
I mean, the Eagles to me is a very interesting case to me. They're not really, like I said earlier, they're not really stretching the ball down the field. They're not getting the ball to AJ Brown and Smitty. And it's a lot of dink and dunk to like the running backs and the tight ends. And I just think it's worked for 2 games. But I think when they get against better competition and I mean more dynamic defenses, that's not going to work. Like the running game is fine. I mean, defensively, the CB2 Adoree Jackson is cooked food. I mean, every game I've watched, I mean, like the defense knows he's cooked food, and that's what they go after. And so I just think if they don't shore these issues up, I think going down the line, they're going to have some issues. And I think they're going to have issues even with the Cowboys. They've already played them once, but the game was close. That was in Philly, and then the next game going to be in Dallas. So I mean, Dallas is going to play better at home, and then they still got to play the Commanders twice, and the Giants twice. So I just think those 2 things that I mentioned that they got to shore up, and I think if they don't, I mean, that division might be, it might be, kind of open. So,
say Henry.
I think that Philly definitely probably took a step back talent wise, closer to the pack, if you will, in the NFC and in their own division. But with that being said, I still think that they're the best team in that division if they can stay healthy. You know what I mean? I think that they'll be okay. Again, their defense took a lot of losses. I think we've highlighted that every time we talked about Philly. They lost a couple of guys on basically each level of that defense, and they lost a lot of veteran leadership and a lot of guys who've played a lot of snaps in this league. They're a much younger team on that defensive side of the football, and I think that they're going to have a lot more competitive games. We're going to talk about some games, you know what I'm saying, coming up this week that I think going to be pretty competitive. So I think that, you know, they're going to probably, I don't think they run away with that division, but again, a lot depends on what happens. I think in Washington, to me, Washington was probably their biggest threat to the division. What happens now with Jaden Daniels? They've already suffered an injury with Austin Eckler. Their running back situation is a little bit in flux. So we're still kind of trying to figure out, you know, saying what that's going to, how they're going to look, if you will. Dallas, we see that, hey, they can score points, but can they stop anybody for real? You know, we still got to see that. And again, I haven't really seen enough of Philly to see if the lack of progress in their passing game is it because Jalen isn't playing well, or is it because defenses are, you know what I'm saying, trying to take, you know what I'm saying, those guys away and forcing them to try to, you know, send a run the ball? What's the reason for the offensive or the passing game woes? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I haven't really looked at that per se. Can they get it together or not? I think that's going to be a huge question. I think the longer that we see them not click, because this is basically going back to last year, the harder I think it's going to be, because that defense is not as dominant and it doesn't have the veteran leadership that we have. We saw it on game one. The best player got kicked out before a snap was even before a snap even happened. You know what I'm saying? So
he wasn't raised like that, by the way.
Huh?
I said he wasn't raised like that, by the way.
hey, the world don't know.
Yeah, he wasn't raised like that, by the way. But
the world don't know. But yeah, so we already seeing some differences on their team. So are they vulnerable? You know, who knows? Who knows? I don't think they're the same team as last year, though. I will say that. No, I'm not gonna say nowhere near. As of right now, they're a different team.
They did a 180. They didn't do a full 360 just yet. So, but we'll see. Again, we'll have that discussion again. I always give teams to week 6 to find out what was really going on. So let's stop down to the NFC South. Baker did Baker magic on Monday Night Football. Literally, that was a game that should have been lost. To be real with you, that should have been a loss for them. But the Buccaneers found a way to pull that one out. And then shout out to my Falcons. Y'all see my defense? we had JJ. We had JJ looking crazy. Matter of fact, you know what that brought me back to? I'm not gonna lie to you. What that brought me back to? That brought me back to when JJ played the Georgia Bulldogs that one year in the Orange Bowl. Had him looking like that. I'm just saying. But
no, man, we're gonna let you slide. We're gonna let you slide with the little JJ slide, little Georgia JJ slide. We're gonna let you slide with that.
Yeah, and he got shacked by a Georgia Bulldog, by the way. But no, let's start with because right now, I'll be honest with you, it's only 2 teams in the NFC South that are going at it right now. The Saints are actually throwing themselves out of it as we speak at this point, and then we're seeing what we're seeing from the Panthers. So. Right now, the NFC is coming down to 2 teams. That's the Falcons and the Buccaneers. So, J-Mick, what do you think about the NFC South and kind of where it stands right now after you've seen, you know, both the Falcons and Buccaneers play against each other, but now that they have played 2 different respectable teams?
I mean, so going into the season, I had the Bucs in the division going into it, but the Bucs are sustaining a lot of injuries, especially on the offensive line. I mean, like both their tackles are hurt. I mean, Wirtz is going to come back. I think the other tackle, they put him on IR, but he's going to come back too. And then Cody Mock is out for the season. So like they were so thin on the offensive line that they had to go ahead and sign. I think his name was Dan Feeney, coming off the Bills practice squad. So I mean they're getting kind of thin there, and I think that goes to the Falcons' benefit. I mean, like I think I still have the Bucs in the nail biter. Like I think this actually might come down to the last game of the season. Now, you know, I mean, all the injuries they have. I mean, the offense for the Bucs, I mean, you know, as far as running the ball and throwing it, like they're really good in those areas. Stopping the run, they're good in those areas. But like in the passing game, like they're gonna like the corners is not that great to me. I'm just be honest. And so I mean, like when you got a team like the Falcons that you got to play again, I mean, the Falcons can run the ball, the Falcons can throw the ball. And by the time they play the Falcons again, you know what I mean, like Michael Penix would have had a lot more games under his belt. So I just think it's going to be difficult. Like I think at this point right now, for me, it's a 50-50 proposition now because of all the injuries that Tampa has.
Dan?
I like both squads. I still think right now, even with the injuries that are mounting for Tampa Bay, I still have them as a slight edge right now. But I love what the young guys are doing up front. You got your James Pierce is coming through. My boy Ruka, whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying? My homeboy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Ruka, whatever his name is, you know what I'm saying? From right up in here. Doing this thing. So y'all getting that pressure on the quarterback, and your defense is definitely stepping up. So dangerous squad. I got to see a little bit more. I got to see a little bit more of Bijan. I see him and Tyler. I don't know what Tyler done saying did over there, but he got some pictures on somebody. The OC make sure he get 15 touches a game. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't know why. He's a solid guy, but I wish Bijan had a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Of that backfield. But I like what they're doing. Let's see if they can sustain it.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk about my squad, but I do think that the Buccaneers are pulling out that magic wand. I don't know if they got something from New Orleans or something. I don't know, because they are really making magic right now. So we'll see. Again, NFC South is going to be interesting between those two teams, between the Falcons and the Buccaneers, for real. Again, unless some way somehow somebody risen below from the other two squads, we ain't gonna spend too much time on them. All right, let's go to the North before we get into some of this injury news. But let's go up to the NFC North. The Packers are hot like fire right now. Detroit is like, hold my beer really quick. We finna show y'all something. Vikings just really took a hit with JJ being injured, even some of their offensive linemen getting hurt this past Sunday. And then we got the Chicago Bears. So I'm gonna start with Hen, because this is your division. This is your avenue. What are you thinking so far about that? Yeah, this is your wheelhouse. What do you think is so far about your division and what's going on? Because right now it's kind of leading kind of where we're talking about it in the preseason, but you do have two juggernauts that are going to probably have to battle it out, and that's between the Packers and the Lions right now.
Well, I'm gonna give it up. For Green Bay. They beat two playoff teams so far this season, and I think that's very impressive on their side. Made a big acquisition for Micah Parsons, so they're definitely serious about it. They're dealing with some injuries as well. Jaden Reed is dealing with a clavicle and a foot. That boy went in there, had two surgeries in one day. I mean, he got the discount plan. Hey Doc, while you in there, you might as well. You know what I'm saying? Don't even take off his scrubs. Don't need to holler at the foot a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, so they're battling a couple of things, but they look good in their two games. Minnesota, you know what? This is a very, very interesting situation with JJ. He had one good quarter. I'm a JJ supporter, but I got to keep it thorough. He had one good quarter out of 8 quarters. Now he's hurt. Now you get that veteran Carson Wentz who steps into this job for the next 2 to 4 weeks. What if Carson wins a couple games? What if the offense has some success and some consistency? What happens? Does the coach Kevin O'Connell come back with JJ? Or does he let Carson Wentz cook if they start to cook? So keep your eye on that situation. As far as Chicago, we're seeing some progress with your boy Caleb, but he had to get the he had to get the BTA action, the 52-point boy. Him and Ben had to get it. You know what I mean? We didn't like the way you left, Ben. We didn't like the way you kind of carried yourself since you've been gone, Ben. So we just had to let you know. Don't get too beside yourself. You are still a little brother in this division. Take these 52 lashes. See you next time and go and get better. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the state of the division. But I still think that Minnesota is going to be the wild card. I think that hopefully we got to talk about the Baltimore game for us on Monday night. We're going to get to that. But for us, for Minnesota, they have to kind of figure out their quarterback position. I think Green Bay is going to be a tough team, throughout this season. We're going to find out a lot about ourselves in this Baltimore game. And I think going forward, there still is a possibility that we can possibly get 3 teams in the playoffs. And I think we're still going to be a very exciting division going forward.
Yeah, I'll start from the bottom to the
J-Mick, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to start from the bottom to the top. The bottom is I just you acquire all this talent, change the coaching staff, same result. I'm starting to look at them like the Jets. No matter what you do, there's just nothing you could do just to rise yourself up. So I got them there. I mean the next team is the Vikings. JJ like he's looked good for one quarter. That's it. I mean, like the other 7 has not looked good. So I mean, like the Vikings to me, and he's out for 2 to 4 weeks. So I mean, they're gonna have to tread water for the next 2 to 4 weeks until JJ gets back. Jordan Addison comes back next week. I mean, because he's suspended for the first 3 games. So at least they got some reinforcements coming back. I just don't know what to make out the Vikings. I mean, personally, like I think Flores is a defensive mastermind. His blitz schemes are incredible, but their corners are ass. Like so I just don't know what to make of them right now. Next team is the Lions. The Lions are a team that I picked to win the division, and then I still have confidence in them to win the division. I mean, they're only 1 game back of the Packers. So I just think it's going to take them some time to gel because they lost a lot of coaches. I mean, there's going to be an adjustment period to that, and then I think you've seen some of that adjustment period happening last week with the Bears. And then the team currently at the top is the Packers. The Packers look really well at home. They had 2 home games. They've looked phenomenal. This week they got to go into Cleveland, Cleveland is not the most offensively gifted team, but they're really good defensively. And this is the Packers' first road game. So I mean, for me, like the division to me is between the Packers and the Lions. I mean, that's just what it is. And I think it's going to come down to the wire on that. So.
Okay, I mean, I think it still stands. I think we all agree that the Lions could come out, but again, we wasn't expecting Parsons to go to the Packers. We weren't expecting that. We weren't. So that just kind of threw a wrench in there. But again, it's going to be a defensive fight. I believe that the division is the same way as the NFC South. It's going to come down between the Lions and the Packers, and it might come down to that game. Whoever wins the game, their next game out of that, might be the one to go for the division. So I'm not sure how soon that is. On y'all schedule with that, I would expect to be kind of closer to the end of the season, but again,
will we play Green Bay again? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, I can tell you. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. We have a little time.
We definitely owe them a little give back for sure.
Yeah, y'all
do.
I think we play them Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Well, hey,
them Thanksgiving. Yes, we're trying to feast. We're gonna have some cheese with that turkey. You know what I'm saying? And the ribs. We're gonna put some ribs on the grill for Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have some cheese with that. A little beer.
Yeah, see, I just believe it when it comes down to it. I think that's what it's gonna probably be, because I think you're probably gonna go neck and neck playing, like, out of division, in the division conference with the teams. But when it comes down to y'all playing again with that, it's whoever wins that. I feel like that's gonna be the one to win the division, unless somebody just falters. We
both play the NFC East and the AFC North. So I think those are going to be 8 games that are going to be very, very, very definitive on all our team schedules. And again, how we fare in those games and again, of course, the divisional games, I'm going to pretty much tell the story. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out real soon.
We definitely going to find out. Like
on Monday, we're going to find out a little something.
But no, just like I said at the beginning of the season, the NFC North was that division to watch. They were that division to watch. So, like he said earlier, we're going to sit back and have our popcorn. That's what me and Jay Mick going to do as we watch the NFC North. Yeah. So, before we get into our picks and our games of the week for the NFL, my last little topic, and this is literally, we don't even have to spend too much time on it. Joey Burrow has to have toe surgery.
Joey.
Ever since Mr. Burrow has gotten into the league, he has not had a healthy start to his NFL quarterback journey. Now, my question is he injury prone? Is he considered what we considered injury prone? So should we keep expecting him not to play full seasons moving forward? Because every year he has been in the league, he has been injured. Missing whole seasons, half a seasons. Now he has toe surgery. We probably won't see this man back until probably November, almost December, depending on where his team is. So, Jay Mick, again, your AFC representative. What do you think about Mr. Burrow?
I mean, he's injury prone. I mean, I don't like to call players injury prone, but I gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, he's been injured. Like he's going his 5th year. 3 out of the 5 years he's been injured. And we're not talking like a week or we're not talking about no concussion. we could do this, we could do that. We talking about major season-ending injuries. So, I mean, like when somebody shows you who you are, I mean, who they are, and you got to believe them. So, I mean, until he can get through 2 or 3 consecutive seasons in a row, I mean, I got to say he's injury prone.
I hate to say, on a player's injury prone as well. But I remember when Matthew Stafford first came to the league and he missed a couple of games and a half a season, whole season. He had a shoulder injury. He had a thumb injury. And he was labeled as injury prone until he put together 3, 4, 5 years with, no injury. So turf toe this time. Last time it was the wrist. The other time it was the ACL. So it ain't like, okay, well, he got a history of soft tissue injury. It's like whatever neck bone connected to the thigh bone, whatever bone is connected could break. That's what possible can happen when you're dealing with Joe Burrow. So, and unfortunately, he got all those guys paid, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But his organization doesn't see the how do I say, the worth in putting a strong front in front of him. He's the franchise quarterback, and they got all the ancillary. They paying $200 million in ancillary pieces. But who they paying up front? They miss on draft picks. You don't have anybody to protect this guy. You know how mangled a guy's toe has got to be out 3 months? I mean, a turf toe. You know what I'm saying? Only worst case of turf toe I've ever heard of is Deion Sanders, and they had to take a couple of them. So I'm telling you, this could be something serious. I'm not joking. I'm being for real here. The only serious turf toe injury I've heard this serious was Deion. He dealt with it for years, you know what I'm saying? And they ended up having to, do whatever with that. But his toe is mangled. That's crazy. And he stands in the pocket. He's not a mobile guy. So if you're not protecting him and he's a statue back there, it's inevitable he's gonna get hit. So it is what it is.
That is true. That is true. We'll see. I mean, like I said, I don't like saying injury prone. I just like, it's just, he came in and he just had some unfortunate mishaps to where he's missing more games than when he's playing. So there's that. But we'll see. Again, he's going to be missing some time.
It's a minimum of 3 months. That ain't even like, exactly. That's like the minimum. Yeah. That's best case scenario.
Yeah, I think he's got like the worst.
That all around up and down.
Yeah, I think they said he got like the worst kind of like a turf toe. Like I think it's like a grade 3 turf toe or something like that. So
yeah, they said it's ligament damage where it's going to require surgery basically for it. So it's tough. That's tough break.
Somebody pay a guard. Somebody play a center. Somebody pay one of them boys up front, please.
All right, so now we're going to get into our games of the week. For this NFL week, again, we have the Rams versus Eagles, 49ers versus Cardinals, and then the Lions versus the Rams. We got a couple of undefeated teams going undefeated. Somebody coming out with a loss this weekend. Somebody going 1-2 in this Lions versus Ravens game. So we're going to start with Henry on this. Give us your picks for those top 3 games and kind of what's your insight of what you're thinking, how they're going to play out.
Listen, I got a lot of things going on. I got a little bit of home biasness going on. I got a little bit, I believe in the underdog this week going on. And I definitely got a little bit of parlay special, I need money going on. So I'm taking a couple of dogs, maybe 3 dogs in this one. I'm going the Rams, because guess what? If we look at Philadelphia every week, we're going to probably pick Philadelphia, but we know they're not going 17-0. We know that. So with that being said, I'm taking a team who played them tough last year in the playoffs in inclement weather. Now we're going to have a level playing field for them. Right now, a healthy Matthew Stafford. Puka's healthy. Devontae's healthy. Again, 2 guys who can really exploit that coverage, J. Mick, that you were talking about. That was a little bit suspect for Philadelphia. And a decent run game, man. And again, the veteran quarterback presence there, Sean McVay, taking the upset. And again, I need money. Give me the Rams. Okay. As far as the other game, we talked about the NFC West. Everybody in this division could be a surprise, a pretender, and a contender. San Francisco, somehow, no quarterback, No receivers. Somehow they 2-0. The Cardinals have to be the ugliest 2-0 team I've ever seen. My boy Connor, he got 23 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns, doing good for me in fantasy, but it looked nasty. It looked nasty. So, with all that being said, I believe San Francisco was favored. I think Kyler somehow pulls off. He has a Call of Duty binge up until 2:30 in the morning, and then he looks at the playbook after that, and then he puts on a great performance and he beats the San Francisco 49ers. And last but not least, it's my lines. Last time he went to Baltimore, they put belt to ass 35-3. Lamar was there. Jameer was a young buck. Monty was a young buck. But I will say this. I think the team has gotten much better. That was 2 years ago. And I think that defense is a little bit shaky for Baltimore. We got our 2 tackles together. Our 2 guards look to have shoring up their communication problems from last week. And I am going with, I got to go. I can't go no other way. I have to do it. Lions, 31. I almost said the Buffalo Bills. I'm thinking Super Bowl. No, I'm sorry. Lamar and them, 28. 31-28, Monday Night Football. Hey, I'm telling you right now, I need money. I'm putting this on my parlay, but this is all biased opinion for the Lions. Y'all got it.
J-Mick, look, you got to follow that up with something. I don't know. You got to follow that up with something.
I mean, I'm not gonna be able to beat that rendition at all. But so I mean, I'll start with the Eagles and the Rams. I mean, like this is like a playoff rematch. I mean, it was a good game in the playoffs. Had a little bit of snow or whatever. It was a good game. I'm still going with the Eagles. I mean, even though the issues I presented early in the show, about them not stretching the ball down the field, and I mean their CB2 not being able to cover at all. Still gotta go with the Eagles, man. I mean, you still gotta shut down Saquon, and I mean, I think Jalen Hurts is due for a really good game, and I think that's what you're gonna get. And so like and nothing to say nothing bad about the Rams. I think the Rams got a really good team. They got a really young defensive line. They have a veteran quarterback. Their 1-2 punch at receiver might be the best duo in the league. So I mean, I've got nothing bad to say, but I just think that the Eagles are going to pull this one out. When I go to the next game, I'm going down to the NFC West. I'm going for the upset. I'm picking the Cardinals over the 49ers. I just think the Cardinals are playing extremely well. I mean, like they were blowing out the Panthers last week. I think it was like 20-3 or 27-3 in the fourth, and they let the Panthers get some like garbage time scores or whatever. But I think they're playing really well. I think they with the injuries that the 49ers have currently, them possibly not having their quarterback, not having Brandon Ayuk, and I mean some other like injuries with Kittle as well. I mean, I just think now is the time for the Cardinals to beat the 49ers. If they can't do it now, then I'm just not sure when they're going to do it. So I mean, it's either like put up or shut up for them, and then I think they're going to win that game. Trying to think what the next game was.
Lions and Baltimore.
Oh yeah. Ravens, the Lions and the Ravens. I just gotta go with the history, man. Like the Ravens don't lose NFC teams. It is what it is. And like the Lions, the last time they played, they massacred the Lions. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be, anywhere from 3 to 7 point game. But I'm not gonna put my money against the Ravens in the regular season going against a NFC team. So I'm just gonna have to go with the Ravens on that one.
All right. So for me, again, I know J-Mick, you're new this season. Anytime we used to always fall in line and pick the same teams, it always had the opposite. So I'm glad we all went different directions.
It never worked out.
Yeah. So for me, I definitely am going against the Rams. I think the Rams versus the Eagles, I think they kind of learned their lesson the last time. Again, it was a close game last year. Matthew Stafford is playing well, even with his back injury. With that, and again, just like how you brought up J-Mick and even C. Henry with the issues that are going on with the Eagles right now, I think this will be that one where it's kind of like, dang it, they were close, but, better team won. So I definitely am giving that to the Rams. 49ers and Cardinals, that game is always wishy-washy. Like I said, Kyler Murray is Kyler Murray. They're sticking it out over there. Again, they just got done playing the Panthers, and even then they almost lost to the Panthers. So I'm going to go with the 49ers on that, minus the injuries. They're still some way, somehow came out of New Orleans with a win. Anybody knows it's hard to play down there in the NO with the Saints, even when they have a down and bad year. So we have that. Lions versus Ravens. For me, I am going with the Lions on this one. And the only reason why I think this past game with them playing, I think that kind of woke them up a little bit and kind of giving them a little bit more motivation. And then two, you can't go into Baltimore and not have a win on your mind, especially with that last win that they had where it was literally BTA. Yeah, I think the Lions had something to prove. I think Dan Campbell has something to prove, and going there kind of motivated like that after, playing their first game against the Packers and it went the way that it went. Again, you don't want to play a motivated team. And right now, I think Dan Campbell got his team motivated. So I'm going with the Lions with that one. Maybe even though history says that the Ravens has beat NFC teams always, it's always a year where you get that one little upset. So we're going to pray for that one. Blue. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need that. We need that, Lady E.
But no, so I am going to go ahead and, anybody have any final thoughts before we go ahead and burn up out of here and go watch J-Mix division beat each other up today?
I just want to say.
And I mean, I pretty much can't lose either way, man. I mean, like somebody got to lose today. So I mean,
11.5 point spread. Miami up 7-0 already. 11.5 point spread. Y'all should have got in on that. I think it's gonna be close. Thursday be janky. Thursday be janky. I need money. Get yours.
Look. We just need to make him a grill that says "I need money."
Hey.
But that's your motto. Okay. With that being said, matter of fact, what is it? Matter of fact, I just want to say this as well. This is not a plug, a promo. I went to go see him earlier. Like earlier in the day today, because you want to get the matinees because that's where they cheap is at anyway, and I don't like spending money on movies. But if you want to go see him, go see him. But I'm just gonna fair warn you, it is a weird movie. I like Jordan Peele movies.
It looked dark. It looked like
I was sitting in the movie theater kind of like, again,
I'm gonna go in there with some Jesus water before I sit down.
Go in there with some Jesus water.
I don't want to come out there with no demons.
Like it's kind of.
I'm gonna go right in there with that Christian Brothers.
There you go, because it's kind of again, if you want to see him, go see him. Since we are in football season, go see a football movie. Marlon Williams, wonderful actor, love him. I said Williams, Wayans. Oh my God, sorry, Marlon. But no, Marlon. We all know Marlon is a wonderful actor. Wayne family again. We know how Jordan Peele is with his movies. I'm still trying to figure out. No, but at the end of the day, go see him. I'm just saying.
We'll support the brother.
Money in exactly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just go see him. But other than that, we love y'all. We'll catch y'all. We actually have a surprise for y'all next week. So we will get back to y'all next Thursday. Y'all just be prepared for that surprise.